Hey everybody, Sixx here from Sweet Sixx Living, and today I want to talk about something a little bit different. It is the first day of the year, so I want to talk. I don't want to really necessarily talk about last year because I kind of want to forget about that, and I don't want to make any predictions. Although I've tried it and I'm not very good at it. That's part of the reason. But I am getting better at making resolutions, but more importantly, I want to talk specifically about keeping those resolutions. I'm not necessarily a pro at keeping resolutions, but I can honestly say I have improved. This past year, I lost over 100 pounds, and I went from 44 at my waist down to a comfortable 34. That's 10 inches I took off, and that was by keeping resolutions or keeping promises to myself. This year, I have more resolutions. Maybe together we can work out how you can keep some of yours as well. This year, I want to let you guys know what my biggest resolution is. I've been smoking cannabis now for more than 30 years, and during that time, unless I was predisposed in some way, I've been smoking it from the morning until night, every single day, and I've been doing that, as I said, for 30 years. We've made 123 videos on this channel so far, and I'll bet you that I'm high in every single one of them. But it got to a point where it was just medicinal. I didn't really get high in the sense of high, like people are disoriented or buzzed or acting strange, or none of that stuff actually ever happened to me. I was so beyond that. You might think, oh, well, your cannabis isn't good enough. No, I'm quite good. I just have been doing it for so long, and my tolerance is so high that it was really difficult. And I really want to go into this clear-headed. This next year is going to be important, and I expect to keep many of these resolutions, and especially this one. And I know keeping resolutions are challenging. They've been challenging for me, and they're challenging for everybody, unless it's just nothing that is really much to give away. But I want to give you some of the things that I think will greatly increase your chances of success. And these are the tips that I use. This is what I use to lose the 100 pounds, and this is what I'm going to use to keep me going further into the future. And you know, I got to say hello to this is Melody, by the way. You guys can see Melody. There's my dog Kai, and this is Melody. Melody should be over on the other side, but she is currently here. She should be over in the coop with the rest of the birds, but she somehow found her way here, and she came over because she was sick one time, and now we can't seem to get rid of her. So, anyways, let's get back to this. I want to tell you. You first and foremost set some realistic goals and be specific. I know that kind of sounds like two goals, but be specific and set them to be realistic, because there's nothing worse than having these big, large goals that you really can't achieve in an easier manner. I mean, you really need to take these larger goals and break them down into smaller, achievable steps that you can go one right after another, because these small wins will help you stay motivated, and they'll take you to that next place that you want to be. So keep your goals realistic, keep them fairly small, and if it is a big goal, break it down. An example for me, based on what I was just telling you right now, is not to worry about tomorrow too much, but like right now, just start with something like, I'm not going to eat any dessert today. Or this morning, I'm only going to have eggs and bacon, and I'm going to skip that toast and skip the hash browns. But only today. And don't even worry about tomorrow. Just worry about right now. Or just say, today I'm just going to have coffee this morning. I'm going to skip that breakfast altogether, and I'm going to have those eggs and that bacon at noon. That's all I'm going to do today. It's simple, it's small, and it's one step at a time, but those small steps will get you closer to a win. And the more wins you have, the easier it all is, and you will achieve those goals. And when you do have these wins, celebrate them. Acknowledge and celebrate that you accomplished it, and celebrate over breakfast at noon. In the example I just gave you, because recognizing these small achievements will have a positive reinforcement and keep you motivated. And staying motivated is really where the success comes in. If you lose your motivation, you're done. So you got to stay motivated, but avoid the slippery slopes of rewarding yourself with what you're trying to avoid. And by that I mean, in my example, for instance, let me see. I don't want to smoke cannabis, so I'm going to set my goal. And this morning, when I get up and drink my coffee, I'm not going to smoke a doobie with that coffee. Nope, I'm not going to do it. However, tonight when I eat dinner, I'm not going to reward myself with a big bong hit, because as you can imagine, that will defeat the goal, right? You don't want to do that, whether it's a diet, whether it's smoking, whatever it is. You can reward yourself, but keep it positive and don't fall back into those because it is a slippery slope. The other thing that's important is to track your progress. Keep some sort of journal. Keep like I use a little app every morning when I play guitar, and it keeps track of everything that I do. I keep notes. It tells me I keep track of my mood, my memory, how I'm feeling, and it keeps track of that, and it tells me how many days I practiced in a row, how many hours I practiced, and it's a great motivator. Also, though, this is another one. I think I'm on number 4. Stay flexible. Life is unpredictable, and it's been more unpredictable. It's you all know. So you have to be adaptable to whatever comes along the way. Don't let it derail you. And if it does derail you, just get back on again and know what those goals are and what you want to achieve. Another one that I sometimes shouldn't do as much as I do, but it's very helpful, is to share what your goals are. Let others know. It'll keep you motivated. Others will come in and help you and say, oh, that's great, and they'll give you encouragement and all that, but it also makes you accountable. Because when you, like, if, for instance, drinking is one of them, and you tell everybody you're not going to drink, but then you go out and get hammered with your buddies, it's not going to work. So tell people and let people know about it. Visualize the success, or visualize what the goal is. If it's weight loss, stand in front of a mirror and picture yourself thinner. I did it. Stand and look at those and say, okay, I'm going to have some abs here. And now I do. So, it's really that simple. It really just picture in your head and picture in your head and picture in your head. And a lot of times it'll come true. It sounds silly, but it works. It really does. The other thing that's very important that you do not want to overlook is routine. Routine is, I can't tell you how important routine is in achieving your goals and staying on track. You really, really need to have a routine. The app I said that keeps track of my guitar practices, that's every single morning at 5 a.m. Every single morning I have it. It doesn't interrupt. I don't want that to get in the way. I have an alarm that sets. It wakes Sweet and I up. We get up and we practice. We practice from 5 to 7 every single morning. And we do that because at that point, as I mentioned earlier, is life can get in the way. Things can happen. You have to be flexible. But the problem is that when you flex all the time, and as life does it, those things get skipped over. But they're so important to us that we want to put them out there first and foremost, that they don't get skipped, because that helps, again, to keep you motivated. Also, remain positive. Try to remain positive the whole time. So when these things happen, if they do, and you fall back in whatever, you fall off, stay positive. Look for what maybe went wrong, what maybe had you do that. Was it you went to a party and you shouldn't have gone to the party? Maybe you needed a little more time away from that. Whatever it is, or there's a piece of cake there and you just had to have a piece, whatever the case may be. Stay positive and know that you did it, but then say, well, maybe, I'm not going to do that again, and I'm going and really work hard. And maybe you need professional help. I know I need professional help. But we're not talking about resolutions here. Just in general, I need some professional help. But like me, maybe you can't afford it, you don't want it, or you can't get it. So you can't always have that professional help, but you can seek out that help from friends, spouses, whatever the case may be. But the whole time is to remain positive. A New Year's resolution it's a long-term deal, because if it's something to make big changes, then at the very minimum, it's a year-long journey. You're going to be doing this for a whole year. So, and you got to remember that the progress it's not going to be linear. You're not going to go from point A to point B exactly as you want. There's going to be lefts, there's going to be rights. You're going to fall down. You're going to have to get back up again. You're going to skin your knee, but you got to keep going. I hate to use analogies like football or something like that, but if you're learning the game, expect to get hit. You're going to get hit, and you're going to get knocked down. But as you progress, it's harder to knock you down, and that's what it's all about. All right? So I hope you guys have the most incredible year. 2024, there's a whole bunch of twos in there. I know Sweet she sees the numbers and she says those twos are important, so I'm going to go with what she says. She's usually right. especially when it comes to the mumbo jumbo magic stuff. She's really all about that. She's my favorite little witch, and she knows what she's talking about. So if there's a bunch of twos and they're all even numbers, we're going to have a good year. And I think you guys are going to have a good year too. Anyhow, I am Sixx from Sixx Living. If you like music and you love chickens and you're into carnivore and you want to be healthy and you want to be happy and you want to be all these kinds of things, then please subscribe. Please leave a comment. If there's something I left off that you think might be a positive thing for people to know and to use to achieve their resolutions, please leave it in the comments, because it's probably something I can use myself. And I'm constantly looking for something I can use to improve myself, because I have a lot of things that need improving. So anyhow, you guys make it the best you can. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay carnivore, and we'll see you in 2024.